The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of How We Would Fix.
Yeah, so we go over the shows that we legitimately did not like and what would...
Well, some we do.
What we would do to make them either better for us or maybe just on the whole.
Or not Ultraman Ginga. In this case.
Yeah.
Our first Ultraman.
Yeah.
For this series.
Yeah. This needs help.
It does. That's why we're here.
This is sort of a hard one, but also sort of an easy one. And I think the easiest way to do it would just be to scrap this part of the series and extend S.
You know, I didn't think that, but now that you say it, it makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Just...
Because Ginga S was at least
passable.
Tolerable.
Yeah. It was one of those things where just like, all right, I can get behind the story of what we're doing with this. However, with Ginga proper...
At least it actually felt like Ultraman.
And, you know, Ultraman does have different iterations as things you know, go along. You don't always end up having to have the big military organization. You can have something a bit more underground like they have in Geed. But with this show...
As I've said before, this is a J-drama with a crowbar... with a toku crowbarred into it.
Yeah. It's very... Ginga's very... It's
God,
very much
that was
hard to do. It's very much so shoehorned in as a show into another show.
It feels a lot in a lot of ways a prototype for many things that were to come. The collectibles, the way
the Spark Dolls,
the Spark Dolls, the way monsters are used, the relationship with the Ultra as a whole.
Yeah, because Ginga was a little bit more separate. They did it so much better when it is like you could tell where it was sort of going, but they did it better in X. So
X did a lot of things better.
It's true.
This was great.
X was a great show. But you also end up having something like this, and you're sitting there looking at it like, why are we here? It centers around this abandoned school. The
abandoned school, you've got, the kid coming home after he's been absent for a long time. He's reconnecting with
friends,
with old friends. And also, oops, giant monsters show up.
Yeah, it just doesn't
give more of a reason for the monsters to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't feel...
As opposed to just, it's an Ultraman show, we are obligated to do so.
It doesn't feel good.
No.
As a show. You're watching this waiting for something to actually happen, but it's just like, either you're invested into the more J-drama portions of it, or you're trying to be invested into the Ultraman portions
which never get fleshed out enough, and some of the acting is really hit or miss.
It's very... What's the word I'm looking for? Not stale, brickish. Because they're just there. They sort of just stay in the background and flail their arms like the lady when she had tentacles at the end.
Oh, gosh.
That was
one of the best unintentionally funny moments ever.
It was pretty quality. But Ginga on its own, I'm just like, I'm very bored watching this. Because I'm not a big fan of like the school slice of life type of, I'm just going to say anime in general. And... Or really just...
The Japanese really like that as a genre, subgenre
as a set
of itself.
A
setting.
Yeah. But it doesn't work in this case, and it has the same problem that we do with RB. But how would we actually fix this? Besides the obvious one.
Here's what I would do.
Extend S.
So, we have this abandoned school. We've got friends coming together. They're trying to fix the school. They're trying to fix it up. We're trying to get this thing reopened for the town over. So, more education. That's always a good thing. But beneath the school, there's some sort of ancient artifact or some sort of power source that some evil entity off in space wants.
Maybe. So,
and my line of thinking is, if we can't have the monsters smash the school, We're trying to fix it. So who should show up at this opportune time of need? Ultraman. Repelling the monsters from the school to prevent them from destroying it and digging whatever's under there up.
I'm going to tie into that. But I sort of want to do it more of a mystery type aspect, where the stone originally fell because the Spark Doll War happened a long time ago.
Or whatever MacGuffin du jour it is we're using.
Also in the future, somewhere else. But I'm looking at this like maybe the mysterious stone fell under to where the school was going to be built over. Mm. And that's sort of what closed the school down because a whole bunch of weird things started to happen.
Mm.
And
draw for supernatural energy, maybe.
Yeah,
we get some ghosts in there.
Yeah, like if you've seen Ghost Stories, the greatest anime
I have seen
all time.
Let's correct that and say greatest anime dub.
Yeah,
because goodness,
it's amazing.
The changes they made are like
amazing.
They took a mediocre show and made it
a meme.
It
was pretty much the original abridged.
It was.
Yeah. But back to this, like a whole bunch of hauntings and things come in, and that's where the monsters start showing up. It's like, oh, we finally found what its power source is. Mm-hmm. Years later, after it started to wake up slightly, and then it started to wake up more, mm-hmm. and we had people coming down trying to find it, mm-hmm. and that's sort of the whole point of it.
There you go.
There's a story.
Jaku, go to sleep,
and then that way you could also introduce the military organization from S a lot earlier mm-hmm. to set up why he's actually with them.
Here's Agent so-and-so. He's here to investigate these, strange energy readings we've been getting.
So we don't just have, he's there now, like we had in S. That's pretty much exactly what happened. Yikes.
The show opens and he's just there. He's joined up with a hitherto unforeseen organization.
Yeah. So just like, it gives us some build up to the better half. Mm-hmm. I feel like that would end up setting things up just a little bit better, mm-hmm. especially here. Now, like I said, the easiest way to just do this would be to scrap this portion and build out S. Mm-hmm. Because the weakest portion of this, and we'll see this as Ultraman goes along for the next couple of years, I feel like we really got in a good place with Jeed, and then RB happened, we won't talk about that, and then Tiger happened, and then we're at Z, and I'm just like, that's a good show. I'm really enjoying this. It feels like we got into a better place here, but I feel like, at least with this, if we extended S and got rid of all of his friends, we would not have missed anything.
I don't know that we could have. I think you could have kept the friends in if it was all integrated better into the overall monster narrative.
Maybe. They were just really weak. And that was my biggest issue.
I think that's more of a script issue, though, than an issue with the characters themselves.
I'm not even sure if it might just be like a combination of script, but I also put it down to actor.
It's a combination of things, sure, but
I put it down a little bit more to actor because I'm sitting here like even with a bad script, an actor can do something with it to sort of bring. You
have a good director and good actors. You can make a bad script better, but yeah, you get saddled with both, and
yeah, that's where the mistakes are coming in. Yikes.
Mm-hmm. Anything else we can think of?
In all honesty, no. This show just needs a definite overhaul. Whenever people ask, mm-hmm. Should I watch Ginga? Pretty much everybody says no. They say it's boring, which it is.
It is boring.
They say it's underwhelming, which it is. And people just say, just watch Ginga S, mm-hmm. you'll be missing nothing. The only thing she misses is him getting the original Spark Doll. Because almost nothing in Ginga mm-hmm. holds any bearing on Ginga S.
Which is a shame, too, because another way you could have fixed that, if we had spent more time, because I'm always going on about Bonds. It seems lately I'm on a bit of a Bonds trip. I am on my second playthrough of Persona 5 Royal, so that might have something to do with it.
Yes, you might be on your way to becoming a bail bondsman.
Yeah, there we go. Pays the bills. If it does. But, spending an episode, like getting an episode dedicated to hanging out with each friend, tying that into our monster narrative where he has to save them or they're discovering some kind of mystery or, they discover one of the amiibos. I don't remember what they're called. But
Spark Dolls.
Spark Dolls, thank you. they discover a spark doll, and that draws a monster to them, and we have to protect our friend. There's ways you could change it up and mix it up and make it more interesting.
Yeah. It just needs something to go along with what they already got.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said a mystery, at least for me, works a little bit better. Because it lends tension to the story that really doesn't have a lot.
That's another thing this story really lacks is tension.
Yeah. Like I said, it feels very slice of life-ish outside of the more Toku elements.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just sitting
Which is nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just, for this story, it needed to be more balanced.
Yeah, it's like there isn't really enough comedy-wise to keep anything going forward. There isn't enough,
There isn't really any comedy in this show.
Or really a lot of drama. So it's like you're missing out on the two things that really keep people at least the most interested. There's really a lot of action either. Except for maybe that one boxing episode, but that's more on the Toku side of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's like you can do slice of life, you can do comedy, you can do school. Asobi Asobase, for those of you who have watched it, is an amazing show. And it does that pretty well. It's very bizarre at times, but it's just like, it works for the story that we got.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, I remember when we reviewed this initially and how much we struggled.
Yeah.
And which is why I was so happy that we did S along with it. Because this
gave us a little more to talk about.
This would have been Wind Spectre levels.
Oh boy. Shortest review we've ever done.
Yep. It was
for a reason.
Yeah, that was not great.
So little to talk about.
There was just nothing to talk about. Anyway. Yeah, this show. Let us know what revisions that you might put in there. I feel like some people out there have some very interesting things to say.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, especially about Ginga. It was the first one of the Neo Ultraman, like the new Ultraman realm that we're in that started with Zero for at least a full show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one definitely, it didn't come back strong.
But it got better.
With a completely technically different half of the show.
I mean, like as the era went along.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just talking about Ginga itself.
That too.
Ginga S was better. But yeah, let us know what you think. Don't forget to join us on all the things, including our new Twitch channel at twitch.tv/TheTokucast. And we will see you pretty much there and everywhere else. Bye, everybody.
Bye.